you go.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 80s Supercar race. We're taking a little bit of that classic Outrun flavor into some fantastic courses. We're at the Rocana Reservoir here in Spain with 3 classic cars. I'm your host for this evening, Max Palmer. With me in the studio is Mr. Gujira. Hey! As well as Carol Alan, our director. So this is going to be quite a nice little event there. We've got the Ferrari F40, the Rough Yellowbird, and the Porsche 911 Turbo. And Gujira has actually had a quick look at some of the files and stuff like that. What do you think about these cars and the cars coming up?
The Super Saga will give them a good competition if it was in the game.
Again, more hints as what to come.
But the Ferrari F40 needs a boost controller. The other 2 turbos, Porsche is not bad. Understeers a lot, but I think if you slowly into the corner, you should be able to drive it.
Yeah, I guess it's a classic old school Porsches. Like the modern Porsches don't really feel like that, but I guess because they're very light at the front end and very heavy with the rear engine at the back, you really do need to feed the car into the corner. And
it reminds me of the Lancia 037.
Oh yeah, that could actually have fitted here. Eh?
Yeah,
that would be suitably very, very 80s indeed. Russell Reyes right now out on track. Then, as you can see, this is a beautiful, beautiful track here. And this is an interesting little map. It's about 6 kilometers long, the tarmac section. There's also a 9-kilometer long gravel section that we might show off in a future broadcast because it looks so nice. But yeah, looking right now, you see there's a couple of tight chicanes, but most of it is quite long, steady state sort of corners like here. And that's going to be a real challenge with these cars because they're how should I put this delicately? They're very 80s. They don't have the same level of grip or braking ability as a modern cars. I don't think any of these cars have ABS, so it's really going to push the cars.
In the settings, in the setup, it doesn't have.
Yeah, so it's going to be very tricky for these drivers, eh?
You can see who will be good at loading up the front wheels without locking up.
Yeah, that's going to be the trick here. You can see that with Russell. He's just going a little bit wide coming through that corner there, and you can see under brakes, the front end of the car really wants to lock up quite easily. Meanwhile, in the comment section there, Alif Jantan, good luck, all sim races. Thanks for that, Alif Jantan. Hopefully we'll be watching some more of these wonderful, wonderful cars. We've got 2 tracks and 2 different categories. We've got the 80s cars running right now live. Oof!
Yes,
that looks like a Yellowbird.
What Porsche typically does when you're not focused.
It is a little bit like that Super Saga, isn't it? It sort of reminds you, hello, hi.
But the thing with the Super Saga, it doesn't just oversteer. It also throws in a snap oversteer once in a while.
Oh yeah,
just to wake you up.
Yeah, oversteers, understeers, and then snaps again, just to make sure that you're nice and awake. But it's a really
gives you false hope that you are in control, but no, it's just there to give you false hope.
Yeah, Alef Jantan says might be joining all of you soon. Come over, hurry over. And I think we still have 1 or 2 slots left, so do head on to the Adrenaline Impact Discord server and ask around there. They'll set you up for this race. There's 8 minutes left on the clock, and we're going to go live around the lap here with Russell Reyes. The first 3 corners here, very difficult because it's downhill, and it's the corner varies a lot. It tightens up and it opens up again. Then you go through this right-hander. It's all about trying to control the oversteer as they go through the tunnel section there. Russell has a lot of oversteer going through that corner there. He looks like he's having fun, isn't he?
Yeah. He's driving it like how you're supposed to drive a Group B car.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And of course, the F40, a lot of people don't know, that was actually designed to be a Group B car because it wasn't just going to be rally cars that were Group B, but race cars as well. Coming out of this tight section here, there's a section that goes over just underneath that Bridgestone bridge, a little small crest where the car gets a little bit light and slidey. Firdausya lawa track. Mana ni? Dekat Spanyol. Rocana. Climbing up through the hill right now, Russell getting into this very tricky section up ahead here. You're going over the crest and into downhill braking zones, downhill apexes. The exits usually quite a bit slippery, for want of a better phrase, coming into this corner.
Other F40 looks like they went through a gravel.
Oh yeah, it's already had the attempt at the rally course, it looks like. So he comes up the hill here, just about managing to get past the slow car there. Zhang slowly getting up to speed there. Fantastic pictures as we see.
Rydell is in second place, 2 minutes 51.
Yes. So Rashid Rydell's in the server as well. We've got quite a few really quick really quick drivers as well out there on track. Russell now coming up to the last sort of city section near the end there, and there's another very difficult left-hand curve in a few corners time there. But before that, there's this sort of very tricky crest. Very easy to spin the car there. You've got to really load it up. And now going through these left-handers, very tricky indeed. I could barely get the car through there without spinning most of the time because it's downhill, and in these little mid-engine cars, it's very difficult to get into this braking zone here where it tightens up dramatically before the final few S's, which the only part of the track that really makes it look like a circuit, and it go across the line.
Okay. Hi guys, I was just sorting out the audio. We have some Outrun theme music going on in the background.
Yeah, I'm digging it.
So let's check out. Wow, got a full house today.
Nice. So we've got Haikal, we've got Liang, VR distribution. Hatai Suse is there.
Yeah.
Rydell, Muiz, aka Angelo, Balagul. We've got a couple of guys, I believe, from the Philippines in the service. So special hi there to all the guys in the Philippines. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this content as much as we have been here. It's been some fairly good stuff there. I'm sure we'll have some of our Philippine friends rooting for our Philippine drivers. Before we get to further into the stream, it just remains for me to have a quick thank you there to our media partners, Galeri Kereta, to Speed Tavern, Vertex Esports, and Adrenaline Impact. All the drivers who turned up today, and of course you guys at home who are doing an awesome job at supporting us. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do what we can do here today.
Selamat datang pada viewers Galeri Kereta. Terima kasih kerana menonton. Satu pesanan daripada Galeri Kereta, ada offer di Shopee Store. Sila hadirkan diri anda di sana sambil-sambil kita tengok ni. Untuk enjoy highest quality ni, kalau ada smart TV kita boleh buka kat YouTube guys. So sambil-sambil kita buka kat smart TV, kita buka phone kita buka Shopee, tengok macam-macam merchandise ada yang on offer, dan kita bantulah apa yang kita boleh dengan local brands macam Galeri Kereta yang sentiasa support Adrenaline Impact. Terima kasih pada Galeri Kereta malam ni. And right now on board kita sedang menonton Abdul Muiz. Aduh, dia terspan di sana nampaknya. Cantik juga kereta ni.
So kereta ni dia buat dengan tema Midnight Club. So a very famous group of drivers from Japan that used to drive down the highway systems down there.
You should have done a donut instead of a reverse.
Okay, this is a different car. This is a RUF.
Yep.
So
what rough yellow bird.
Well, rough. Yeah. What can you describe about this car, Max? What's the difference between the Porsche?
Basically, with a RUF, they have so many differences between a RUF and a Porsche that they have their own chassis numbers and they're registered as RUF. So they're registered as their own brand, just like Alpinas are registered differently with BMWs. What they do is they take a 911 body shell, they put their own engines, gearbox, suspension systems and bodywork on the car, and they create Porsche 911 type cars that are very high performance. So it's sort of like a factory tuned car, but the difference between RUF and other tuners is that the cars are registered as a RUF, they come with a factory warranty, and they can be customized to literally endless proportions, and they've got all the accessories and everything else as
to
well.
whatever your heart desires.
Exactly. And it's a very famous car, this Yellowbird. It's one of the cars that sort of really popularized hot lapping the Nürburgring. There's that famous option video of the car sliding around there. Hopefully we'll see some of the guys drifting this car around.
Let's see how fast the Porsche goes. F40 did a 254 kilometers per hour. Way back down.
Back down just a little bit there. Let's have a look and see what Rashid Rydell. He's got a little bit of experience driving around with these Porsches, so it'll be interesting to see how he handles it through the final sector. Man, you can actually see the amount of steering input he's putting in to try and make that front end work.
I saw Ferrari F40 in the bush.
Yeah, that's how they grow them, you see. You don't build Ferrari F40s, they grow in the bush.
Probably he's buying pisang goreng at the...
Yeah.
Not bad, Rydell. Almost went to top speed.
Nice. These cars, I don't think they'll be able to hit 300 kilometers an hour around here, but they get really close. And for a car from the 80s, it's quite spectacular. Oh, someone was stopped there. Yikes. Just about managed to avoid that little incident there. Abdul Muiz Hakimi, aka Max Angelos.
Almost drifted around the corner.
Yeah, he's trying his hardest to find... I mean, he always tries to find a way to get these cars sideways somehow. Big flick in the steering wheel there. Oof. He did report that there was some slight engine damage possible with these cars. I guess because it's a tuned Porsche 911, you've got to control the revs yourself instead of relying on the ECU to control it. So properly it's cool.
I checked the data. The limiter and where the engine starts to damage is very close.
Yeah.
So you basically you cannot red line into shift.
Yeah.
Short shift most of the time.
Yeah.
But the RUF is okay. Even though with the 100% boost, you need the God level driving capabilities.
Yeah, I remember this thing. I think it's called Option, and it was a German video, and they had the rough test driver driving the car around the Nürburgring.
Oh, yes.
He was sideways all over the place. It was unbelievable the amount of skill that guy was showing. Considering that the rough is a very difficult car to drive, it's quite interesting to see how that goes around the track.
That's the reason why they call them the video maker, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's back in the days where fast cars had to be driven with some level of respect. Just a little bit too quick there from Vahan. The barrier. He couldn't wall ride it to try and help him out there. And it looks like the guys are just about finished. The time is up for their qualifying session. These guys are going to go straight into qualifying before the race. The qualifying session is up. Sesi Layanan sudah habis. Russell Reyes is in pole position. It looks like we have a Filipino front row of the grid. Fastest Malaysian Rashid Rydell in third, with Muiz in fourth and Ramirez in fifth. Special thanks to all those guys who were liking as well. Zainal Hazim, Said Traki. I do hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I think a couple of the other guys are just going out. They've just connected
Zen.
up. Yeah.
Whether it's Zan or Zen, I think we just call him Zen.
As long as you don't call him Zane.
Zen. Looks like he's understeering out of the corner.
Just about catch. That's the tricky thing with old Porsches. Like the new ones are a lot easier to drive than the old cars. These old guys, you've got to brake, use the proper braking technique, late braking, feed
Left
the brakes.
braking.
Yeah.
You have to use the rear to steer you into the corner.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're just commenting millions and millions of dollars worth of damage. Don't worry, we've got really good insurance. Just don't tell the insurance agent. Yeah, the trick I learned with these two Porsches is that once you get on the throttle, it's very difficult to try and control it. So you've got to be super sure when you get on the throttle. You've got to plant that foot down right at the right time and keep your foot on the throttle. Otherwise, when you lift off and put your foot back on it again, the weight transfer tends to kick the car out sideways, just like that. Zen there, just having a little bit of a rethink through that section there. It'll be interesting to see. It's sort of a battle between the mid-engine F40s and the two Porsches.
Makes you wonder whether will the car react to a Scandinavian fleet.
Probably. Zen almost looked like he was going to try one. Yep, there's a Scandinavian flick. Yep, there you go.
Hold it.
Almost. It was a valiant attempt. A for effort there from Zen. But I think this is one of the few servers that we've had that pretty much full. So there's quite a lot of drivers out there right now. So we're going to head off to the grid very, very shortly.
Yeah.
Just as a reminder, we're in the 80s Supercars class. We're at the Reservoir Rocana track. Or Rosana, I'm not sure. I'll have to ask Javier after the stream. We're with the Ferrari F40, the RUF CTR Yellowbird, and the Porsche 911 Turbo tuned. So we've got a RUF from Germany, we've got a Porsche tuned, it appears to be by some Japanese drivers, and a Ferrari F40, which doesn't need any tuning at all. At least not to compete with these guys, anyways.
Okay, we're heading off to the grid. Hold on.
Alrighty, so the lights are up. We've got 6 lights on the counter. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, 6 lights, and look at all those supercars.
3 Ferraris in
3 cars, yeah, exactly. The Ferraris, of course, all painted in red because that's what they were. If you ever wanted to buy a Ferrari F40, you had to get one in red. Russell Reyes takes pole position right now, and it looks like further behind that looks like another one of the Philippines drivers there. Balago in second place, Muiz in third, Rydell in fourth, Zan is in fifth, but he's battling with Fickmail right now. Akai Suise is in seventh place, Torres is in seventh place, just overtaking Akai Suise. And quite a lot of drivers chopping and changing and switching around right now. Looks like a fairly calm start to the race, no deaths to report as of yet. As they come through this first sector here, but there's a couple of braking zones there that's going to be very, very tricky indeed. We go on board with Rashid Rydell as we have one of those cars there. That's Zane rather, from Singapore, getting the car very, very sideways through there. I think the trick with these Porsches is going to be to be as smooth as possible and to really feed the car through the corners there. It doesn't seem to like being very aggressive. It just wants to understeer when you try and get very, very... Ooh, that was a close incident there. Yikes. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be quite a few tricky points there. There's going to be 5 laps in this race there. If you're wondering, Aleph Jantan, there's your answer there. He asked how many laps. It was 5. And Zulhafidiz Yahya says, Pocha is hard. Oh, yes. We can see that right now.
Plus, you cannot go sideways all the time because you need to preserve your tires.
Oh yeah, that's a good point too. Even though it's 5 laps, because this track is so hard on its tires, with the way it's moving, the car's almost always sliding. You see that Akai controlling the slide as it comes out of the corner there. It's really, really tricky. But Reyes, look at that, Russell Reyes off into a massive lead, 5.8 seconds there. Ooh, it looks like Angelo had a bit of a moment there. He's still having that moment. He is still having that moment, and now Akai Suise has almost joined him in that moment as well. That is, whatever it is, that's the opposite of a moment of Zen. That was it. We've got another spinner up there at the top of the hill, and it looks like Farhan as well. So 2 cars that spun. Meanwhile, Rashid Rydell, he is the fastest Malaysian out on track. Zen is the fastest Singaporean. Reyes is the fastest of our Philippines friends right now. A very international race we have this evening, so great stuff to see all of those guys out there. Ooh, it looks like Zan's gone off. He was trying to battle for 3rd place there, but now he's dropped down to 8th place. I think that heavy rear end has just hit him in the back side. See there.
They all should off their lights. The car be more aerodynamic.
Yeah, I know. It's maybe they're using it as DRS. Wait till they get onto the straights before they turn it off. Oh, Ainal Yakin also goes off again. That first section is so tricky, isn't it?
I did that extra downforce for the front wheels.
Perhaps, yeah. Pop-up headlights, as you know, always create extra downforce. Yeah.
Speed brakes.
Absolutely. Okay, so you see now he's balancing the car through the corner there. He's slowly getting the hang of it. What I love about this mod, apart from the cage, is it's got that classic 80s stack rev counter.
Yeah.
God, I mean, the people I would kill to try and get that in my car. I don't know about you, but
You're not the only one that is looking for one.
yeah.
But what people that the people that designed this Porsche for Assetto Corsa should have rotated the tach.
Yes,
That should most probably added another extra 15 horsepower.
Oh yeah, of course. Get
Because
that rotation.
Yeah, because most of the Porsches, this era Porsches, usually the drivers will rotate the tach one.
Yeah. That's so that they can see that the red line is right at the 12 o'clock position. In this car, I think it's only 8.5, or you can only really use it 8,000 RPM. Okay, they're really getting the car sideways. He had to have 2 or 3 attempts at spinning the car there before he got it in a straight line.
Akai is demonstrating his Formula 1 skills. Yes.
Yeah.
He
Look at
just
that.
acknowledge us by doing that.
Yeah. He's obviously listening to the stream right now. He can just... it's like those guys with the wing walkers tipping their wings to the crowds in acknowledgement.
Muiz also is showing us his initially drifting events.
Absolutely getting very sideways right now going through that section there. Meanwhile, Russell Reyes, he is 12 seconds ahead right now. Fastest lap of the race. And look at that, he's just out there. He really, really likes that Ferrari F40, isn't it?
Yeah. He's just loving it.
Yeah. Right now in the studio, so we have Hafiz, apa khabar? Pit Jordan.
Ya, baik, sihat.
Ya, ada peluang tak untuk tengok mod-mod kita kereta ni untuk malam ni?
Itulah ingat nak join sekali tengok terlalu besar lah file dia. Tak ada space.
Itu dia track dia
872 max.
Track dia besar.
Oh, lawa
kereta
tracknya.
Dia ada 2 course, 6 km dan 9 km untuk rally.
Oh, okey.
Itu sebablah dia besar sikit. So kepada semua kompetitor, minta maaf, but your SSD will have to have a workout today.
Ni apa nama track ni?
Reservoir.
Hanya half year.
Reservoir.
Yeah.
Oh, lawa.
Kalau tak silap ni mod
Oh! Pre-lunch. Yep.
Nice. So very, very difficult indeed. You can see that Akai getting the car sideways. It's really challenging. We haven't done a road car for quite some time there. And as you can tell, these drivers are really having to work the car very hard. It's a whole different thing to drive a road car on a circuit from a race car. You sort of miss that sort of very sharp inputs that you can do in a race car.
So Porsche ni all-wheel drive ke?
Ni semua rear wheel drive.
Oh. Senang tu.
Yeah. Rear wheel drive dan dua-dua turbo. Satu roof dan roof daripada AC dan daripada kunus, dan lagi satu 911 turbo.
Oh, Zan!
Rear wheel drive ni.
Zan has basically gone into a different realm.
Oh man, but look at Ratchet. He's been super calm right now. He dropped a few places there, but he's managed to gain it back again. And look at how neat and tidy he's driving the car now.
Oh.
You can definitely tell he's a race car driving instructor by trade. He runs SSAD, and you can sort of tell that race driver instructors tend to be so smooth. They make it look so easy.
Oh, we have one DNF.
Farhan.
Heavy damage.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened to Moise?
Oh, he is down in 10th place. He must have had a little bit of an off-screen spin there. Unfortunately, we can't bring you replays as of right now. The replay machine refuses to believe that Assetto Corsa exists. We will try and re-educate it, send it to a re-education camp so it can come back again.
This
That's,
is-
it's a lot of damage there. Yeah.
Ya, dia langgar tembok tadi rasanya dekat jambatan tadi.
Yeah.
Tu dia try masuk Harry Potter punya run. Tapi tak jadi.
Yeah.
Rashid
So
ni
that
dia tak bawa laju sangat tapi dia safe je kan. Orang nak potong, bila orang potong dia je mesti orang terpabas. So memang he's quite on the limit of his car punya capability lah kot. Tapi
Yeah, dia basically dia punya driving style sebab dia driving style dia memang smooth and steady and very by the book. Dia tak nampak laju tapi sebenarnya kalau tengok dekat time memang laju.
Balagul ni actually nama dia lain I will just call him Aldo, I don't know. Last time he joined our race, dia kata nama dia lain, he's not from Malaysia I think.
I believe he's from the Philippines.
Yeah, so
I could be wrong.
he's he's in the podium position driving on rough. So it's not bad for rough doing a podium position.
Yeah, I mean to be honest with you, I had a thought that the Ferraris might walk away with it, but especially the roof cars are doing very well. And I believe there's also Zan's in the roof as well. He's in top 4 right now, in 4th place, and he's battling quite well with there. I can't quite read the name there. He's a VR distributor and a very good friend of the community there. I do apologize to the man in 3rd place. You might
Liang.
That's it. So thanks to Liang for joining us. Hopefully he's having some fun there. He must be having some fun because he's up there in 3rd place and having a really good race.
Yeah, maybe Liang can sponsor us a few VR headsets.
I would like a VR headset, a PC to run it, and a direct drive wheel. Please, thank you.
I don't need a direct drive. I just need a Thrustmaster wheel. That's about me. And also the pedals and the gear.
Yeah.
The H pattern.
Yeah, email your list.
Yeah. We'll email him the list so that he can reject it officially. But yeah, right now it's Reyes in 1st place, Aldo in 2nd, and Liang in 3rd with Zan in 4th, Rydal in 5th, Torres in 6th, Yakin in 7th, and Muiz there, aka Max Angelo, pushing that car to the limit and getting it up into 8th place. He's battling right now with the car further ahead. This is Eka Shabrin
From SpeedTavern, guys. So thank you.
Yeah,
We have having some support from SpeedTavern community. Thank you very much for joining this race, guys.
Yep, guys like Kaisuse, Pesa, I believe also from that community as well. We've got quite a few other drivers. Ainal Yakin, Muiz as well from there, and Eka, absolutely entertaining person. Oh no, Muiz, spin. It looks like the Porsche is bitten again. Oh, Torres as well.
Oh no.
Are we seeing the tires die?
Final lap, guys.
challenging.
Wait, what happened to Reyes? He's damaged.
Reyes there, he's in 1st place, but yeah, he's picked up quite a bit of damage there. He may have gone on a wall riding excursion, but being 32 seconds out in front means that he has managed to eke out enough of a gap, I think, that he can avoid there. You see, he's really going
Damage.
I think he's got damaged suspension. Yeah, just like Hafiz said, memang nampak dia punya suspension damage, mungkin tayar dia pun ada effect juga. But in any case, he is really enjoying that F40. You know, he knows how to drive a mid-engine car, and that has stood him in good stead. Congratulations goes out to Russell Reyes, the winner of our first race of this evening. What a run! 34 seconds ahead so far of Aldo Balagulan there. I'll use this quote-unquote circuit name.
Balagulan.
Yeah, Balagulan.
Maybe it's Indian Bala Chandra.
Or maybe.
No. I don't think. I think he's.
I think he's actually from the Philippines.
Yeah, it's a Filipino.
So probably it must mean something at Tagalog. If any of you guys know what it means, do leave a comment down below. But Aldo there, he comes home in second place, and Liang will come home in third. We've seen Reyes, we've seen Aldo before, but I believe this is Liang's first race, so that's a good debut there for Liang, the distribution. Coming down the hill there, this corner is so tricky. I must admit I had a little bit of practice around this track before in these cars, and it's so tricky to not get the tail end of the car out as it goes through there. But it looks like Liang will come home in third, and it looks like only 2 drivers have actually crossed the line before the end of the server there. Yep. Yeah. It looks like literally only 2 cars crossed the line there. Mizamaros, Muiz, and Zohair, who are a lap behind, have also come across the line there. But there you go. That's our results. Reyes, Balago, and it looks like
3 plus dead and fish. Oh, 4 plus dead and fish.
Four guys out.
Yeah. Okay, let's have a quick break until we transition to the next track. Here it is. We're gonna head off to Scotland.
Bannockbrae in Scotland, or Bannockbrae. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, but then again, I'm Welsh. And not Scottish, as some people mentioned.
Out of these 3 cars, only the Diablo has a racing heritage,
That's true, actually. The Ferrari F50
didn't go to track.
Yep. The Ferrari F50 never went to the track. It did have some Formula 1 technology in the engine. The Bugatti, it's a beautiful technology demonstrator. It was like the Bugatti Veyron of its day. Never went on track.
Yeah.
Diablo had a long career in racing, which is really strange because Lamborghini at this time, they were very adamant that they would not race their cars from the factory. So there's this classic rule in Lamborghini racing that they've only broken recently. But the rule was, Ferruccio Lamborghini said that the Lamborghini factory will never compete in races. He believed he was building road cars instead of racing cars, and he wanted their cars to be really comfortable on the road and all the rest of that sort of stuff. Ironically, out of these 3 cars, 2 of them big brands with racing heritage, and 1 brand that banned themselves from racing, but Lamborghini were the ones that actually ended up racing the Diablo. The more you know.
So this is from the era of 90s, Max?
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, back then in Malaysia, we had these trading cards. I don't know whether you guys have played it before. Those collectibles where you play power cards. There's a Lamborghini, there's a Ferrari. I think these cars were featured in those series lah. Did you get to play with them, Gojira?
Oh yes, I not cars specifically lah, but the other things are like warships, jet fighters, all of those lah.
Yeah. In the UK, we had something similar called Top Trumps, and
makes you feel how old you are.
Oh, yeah. Top Trumps is still going in the UK. I plan to try and get a friend of mine to ship me over a deck of cards, and it was cool. It was like Pokemon, but with cars.
So this track we're going into is in Scotland. It's called Bannockbrae, and it's 7.3 kilometers long, and it's very scenic. So enjoy the stream, guys. We're gonna head off there in 3, 2, 1. So I chosen the Ferrari, I think. Yeah. Oh, nice. But in blue. Yeah.
A blue Ferrari. Controversial. But this is a port from Project Cars 2. I believe AC Unleashed, or another Spanish, I believe, modder did this track. I'm sure we'll have the links in the description and all that for where to get these. But it's a beautiful, beautiful track. Look at the textures on the road, the textures outside. It's relatively light despite looking this good. Even my potato PC can run it with really good lighting effects there. And as you can see there, Muiz in the Bugatti cruising through there. You can see the bridge is beautiful, and the water in AC it's very hard to get the water effects right. This track just nails it. This looks as good as anything that Kunos has done.
The Bugatti speedometer goes up to 400 kilometers per hour. No?
Yeah.
I'm looking at it now. I still like the way they model the Ferrari F50.
Oh, let's look
Yeah.
for a Ferrari
Beautiful.
F50.
Yeah, very detailed
Whoa!
work done.
EJ probably thought that you could supposed to go straight on. The Ferrari F50, I guess there's not too many people who have picked it simply because it's a very tricky car to drive on the limit.
Here it is.
He can be very quick. Ika, of course, he's going to pick the tricky car to drive. He is always up for a challenge there. The tricky part about this car is that it hasn't got ABS, and the tires on it are just street tires. There's no any fancy semi-slicks or anything like that. So it really is down to driver skill as to how fast you can drive this car, especially around this course here. So it's very, very tricky. You've got to learn how to brake properly, old school style, without ABS, and you've got to be able to feed the car into the corner. But a classic, sort of an underrated classic from the Ferrari hypercar series, if you will.
Beautiful track, Max.
Absolutely.
Reminds me of other games also.
I know it's in Scotland, but it reminds me of
Need for Speed.
where I'm from. Well, yeah, that's true. But it also reminds me from where I'm from, West Country. Really very beautiful.
Back then when I was playing Need for Speed 2 Special Edition, the Ferrari F50 is always my choice. Even though I know the McLaren F1 had faster top speed, but I still love the F50.
Oh yeah, man, Need for Speed 2 is so nice.
Back then when Need for Speed was a racing game instead of whatever they are doing now.
Yeah.
I shall not utter the words of Mordor.
Yeah. Thou shalt not pass that thought into our heads. But yeah, it actually really does feel like Outrun, especially when you're driving this F50 around this course. It does feel kind of like an Outrun stage, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Okay, so you say he's in the red Ferrari. Now look at that image. Red Ferrari driving around in the British countryside, powering through the Vales of Scotland. Coming down to this braking zone here. This corner is very typical. It looks like you could go very quick through here, but it's actually very, very tricky. Again, coming into this braking zone here, feeding it through there. It looks like a faster corner, but it's actually quite slow, and you can see that I actually carried a little bit too much speed going through there. It's an easy mistake to make around here. But just clipping the grass there. This track, I mean, when you look at it on the map, it looks super simple to drive, but trust me, it's very hard. It's sort of like the car driving version of the Isle of Man TT races. A lot of fun though.
Akash to say thought he could brake. He thought the car had carbon brakes.
He thought he had carbon brakes and ABS. Turns out he had neither.
It's very odd, why Ferrari never take 50 into racing.
Yeah, I couldn't answer that question for you.
It's lighter than the F40, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lighter than the F40. It's got a V12 engine with the same turbochargers in it. It's got all the power, the speed, the aero, all that good stuff. But for whatever reason, they never raced it. One of life's great mysteries. Another one of life's great mysteries. Understeer through that corner there. You're going to see a lot of drivers, I think, run wide through that corner. Oh, we already see contretemps, which
What
means
is an interesting color?
Yeah,
It's white, is it?
yeah, I believe it's white. Yeah,
Or is it
I've never seen one.
the TNB color, the Nado grey.
It could be, yeah. It could be.
TNB substation, the cabinets,
Yep.
Nado grey, isn't it? Those are the Nado grey colors.
Yeah. For those of you watching outside of Malaysia, our power boxes and substations are painted Nardo grey.
Yeah, we forgot to touch base on this Lamborghini.
Yes, the successor to the Countach. This was part of a long line of Lamborghinis, the big Lamborghinis, V12 engines. Surprisingly, most people don't realize this, but the V12 that's in the back of this car, mainly designed as a marine engine.
Oh,
And Lamborghini have a massive marine department. Their marine department and their tractor division are 2 or 3 times bigger than the car division, and they needed a very big engine. Being Italians, they didn't go for a V8 or a V6, they went straight to a V12. And I think the world thanks them for that, because these are some of the most theatrical sports cars out there. The Diablo here, this I believe in VT spec, a very, very classic sort of supercar. It replaced the Countach, another classic supercar of the 80s. It became a classic supercar of the 90s. I believe this was the cover car on Need for Speed 2.
Yeah.
SE. And I think on every bedroom wall from here to the UK, next to that poster of a tennis player, but we won't mention that too much then.
This kind, Countach.
let's see the speedo.
Same. That's why I say the detail of the cars are very good.
Yeah, these are some of the
very well done.
Yeah, these are some of the best. I think all of these cars could pass as being base game content. They all look like they've been done by Kunos. The F40 I believe is, and a couple of the other cars there, but this is Diablo 4. Unbelievably good detail of the car. And don't it just sound the best? Coming through the final corner here. This last sector is another place where you're going to see quite a few incidents. But with Aldo doing quite well in the previous round, I'm sure he's getting really used to this Lamborghini. So let's go on board for a lap around Granite Bay here, as he's going side by side there with another Ferrari. He's going to brake a little bit early here to go through this corner. Again, it looks very fast, but you have to slow down a little bit because there are bumps there, and these old supercars don't really like the bumps too much. Going over this crest, coming into this braking area, I would brake around that first slow sign on the ground there, but you can brake a little bit later. And again, it's all about braking early and accelerating early through this section here. Although they're finding the racing line through there, so they can take it in one fell swoop. Russell Reyes was the man who took him earlier on in the lap, going over this classic bridge. It looks like a miniature version of the Fourth Rail Bridge, for those of you guys from the UK. You'll get that reference there. Oh, there's all the cars all over the place there. Aldo using all of his skill to avoid that mess.
I think there was a pasar malam.
What was interesting about that corner? All the Ferraris were there.
Yeah, exactly, all of them. all the F50s were there at that corner on that day. And coming through this viaduct, this is where the track loops over itself. So you drive underneath the track on that viaduct, then you come up through this very, very tricky section here, where the road just goes left and right and up and down, and you're trying to keep as much speed as possible through this section here. But you've got to watch for the braking zone here, and you've got to slow down just a little bit, and you can't really see where the braking points should be, but you have to sort of try and find a marker to get that braking point in. Now this section reminds me of that famous run through Ramsey's at the Isle of Man TT, just threading the needle through there. And again, you come up to another one of these deceptive corners. It looks very fast, but you've got to brake very early because it tightens up on you like you wouldn't believe. And then it goes downhill. It opens up again, goes downhill, and just when you thought you're done with this left-hander, it tightens up again before immediately going into a right-hander. This is going to be a real tire torture test. Coming across this bridge right now, we're almost at the end there. Just a couple more corners to go. Coming down this section here, you can take a lot of speed, a lot more speed than you think through this section here. Use that crest to try and slow down just a little bit and get the car set up for this long right-hander. It's a double apex corner which leads on to another left-hander there, but you can take it with one steering input. That would be the best solution there. Now coming up to the final corner there, coming very close to the fence, and then on to the start-finish straight. What a lap. What a beautiful location, isn't it?
This will make the drivers of the Saga sweat.
Ooh, yeah. we really should actually take the car here. Come to think of it,
It's almost like Phillip Island. No?
yeah.
Only difference is everywhere is bouncy.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm starting to have evil thoughts now. Here I was thinking the Super Saga should go to some really nice, smooth tracks. No, let's have a challenge. Not that this isn't a challenge. These cars are super tricky to drive around here because they're very skittish. These suspension systems in these cars definitely don't like rough, bouncy sort of country roads. But yeah, it's a real challenge. Guys are there going around the outside of a Bugatti, something you don't see too often. Coming to this braking zone here, and again, see, he made the mistake there. He just locked her up a little bit coming into that corner, and that caused the terminal understeer. It's going to be, I think, one of the hardest races we've ever shown here on Assetto Corsa. All the drivers, they're trying to get as much practice as possible. Mama Zuhaya there commenting, super hard. Memang super hard.
Yeah, another Ferrari.
Once again, as we're going on. Yep.
That was
Javier there, Javier Alvarez. Everybody's favorite local neighborhood Spaniard.
We call it the Ferrari corner lah.
Yeah, the Ferrari markets, the Spinala corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
in the comment section. Spinala curve. This is another tricky one here because most of the corners around this track, it's very difficult to tell when you're watching on video, but most of these corners ever so slightly tighten at the exit, just to make your life that little bit more interesting.
Now the sun is setting, so if the sun is blocking their eyes, they should raise their hand, right?
Absolutely.
They should do the Arivattan thing.
Ah, yeah, the Arivatnan quote.
In life, you can raise your hand but not your foot.
Exactly.
Whoa!
Oh, that is what you call trading the needle.
Oh yeah. If that car was any wider, he'd be painting those two buildings yellow. Look at that.
He'll
The
be
mountains.
trading his own needle in the hospital.
Oh yes. There'll be a doctor there threading a needle through some parts of his body that he wouldn't want to be stone. But look at those mountains. It's such a pretty track. I bet you any of you guys, there's a lot of guys out there, photography nerds who take a lot of photos in AC, and I'm sure this must be a new favorite track for these guys to take some very pretty pictures around here.
Yeah.
Ooh, very bouncy through there. There's a little hump as you go over that bridge, and if you're not careful, if you're loaded up and driving at the absolute limit, you're going to spin through there. I think that's going to be the trick with this track, is that you have to leave a little bit on the table. It's kind of like riding on the Isle of Man. You've got to be 80 or 90%. You can't drive at 110% because there is such a big risk of an accident.
I'm looking at the Ferrari F50.
Yeah.
My evil brain started telling me, wonder what it feels like if you all-wheel drive it and turbo it.
Go on.
The extra 400 horsepower.
Yeah. I like
make
that.
the first ever Ferrari F50 GT version, for track use.
Yeah. F50 LM. This is going places. Oh, Frickmail just a little bit too quick over that crest there. He managed to keep the car in a straight line though.
Can give it to come and make it into a speed tail.
Yeah. Triple tarmac there saying, awesome. What track is this? It's just majestic. It absolutely is. It's a Project Cars 2 port. And it's Brannock Bray. Brannock Bray in Scotland. And for those of you... Yeah, Brannock Bray. And for those of you who are wondering why I'm butchering the pronunciation, I'll remind you again. I'm not Scottish. I'm Welsh. So yeah, for those of you who are wondering do join the Discord server. You can come into the Discord and have a look at the mods that were used during the course of this race. Sometimes we have race-specific mod packages. Sometimes we have open mod packages as well. And of course, it's all basically open as well. So if you do see one of our posters on Facebook, you're free and welcome to join us in our AC races. We've had some fantastic numbers when it comes to driving in. Fantastic reception from all the drivers there. So a very special thanks goes out to the drivers alongside. Without them, we wouldn't have all of this wonderful footage that we're watching now of these classic cars around a very spectacular track. He caught it.
Max, speaking of Discord server, let's move on to the lobby and have a chat before they start the race.
Sweet, let's jump down.
Yeah. Hey guys, we're live right now. So how's the track?
Oh, awesome.
Teringat kampung.
Teringat kampung. Tapi salah kereta.
So next time kita kena pakai kereta national lah kat sini kot.
Oh. I think the Bugatti is all-wheel drive.
The Bugatti is all-wheel drive.
Yeah,
In real life, it's all-wheel drive.
Yes. Oh, really? Sama, you
All-wheel
like
drive and turbocharged. That's the Bugatti recipe from the 90s.
Kamal
I think it's W16 4 turbos, right?
Yep.
and
W.
Kamal, you like to
No. The EB110 is not W.
You sure about that?
It ain't a V12, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is a V12.
Because that mean W.
Quad turbocharged V12, 3.5 liter.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
W4, right? If it is V12.
No, it's
No,
a
it's
3.5 liter V12.
Alright, all the best.
Alright, good luck guys.
Have fun.
Let's go.
Oh no, I did not start. Okay. Starting at the pits.
And away they go. Russell Reyes there in first place. Unfortunately, we've already had a DNF there. It's a 4-lap race around this beautiful track there. And it's brilliant racing as we go around the first corner here. Very tricky here. Oh, we've got a big accident there. That's 3, that's 4 cars.
Synchronized drifting by the
Bugattis. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got the triple stack Bugatti
I know.
Bugatti accident there going through there. All sorts of drama at the start of the race. Amazingly, only 3 cars involved in that incident that went all the way around. And most of the drivers there showing some considerable skill in avoiding that incident. I was expecting a real pile-up there. So now going over the bridge there, we're on board with Moise aka Angelo coming into the braking zone there. Ooh, look at that, they're going to go side by side through there, and it looks like, yes!
Oh!
What a move! Brilliant braking maneuver there coming into that corner there. That junction's so deceptive. You've got to brake so early. Oh no, and Muiz, that's a big accident there coming in through the lake side. And oh no, there's all the other cars trying to come through there. They're desperately trying to avoid it. And wow,
Looks like Muiz tried to sabotage other drivers.
No, I was off the line.
Muiz.
Oh shit. I'm on the grass again, man.
it's okay. It wasn't your fault, but we're still going to blame you anyways because it makes us feel better. Because we're shallow human beings.
Okay, my car is F, so I have to go to the pit. But good thing I have teleport back to pit, so I don't have to get a penalty.
Neat. Meanwhile, Aldo there is in second place. We've got Reyes in first and Aldo in second place. It looks like the Philippine brigade is really pushing quite hard indeed. Aldo is a lot closer to Reyes than he was in the first race there. Ramirez is in third, Zuhair in fourth, Fitmail in fifth, Zain in sixth, Mizan Maros in seventh, Ika in eighth, Torres in ninth, and V-Pirate in 10th, battling with Ainul Yakin right now. And it's brilliant turnout for this race. I'm pretty sure this may not be the last we'll see of these wonderful supercars. Right right there. Special thanks, by the way, goes out to our media partners, Galeri Kereta, SpeedTavern, Vertex Esports, and Adrenaline Impact, and to all of you guys watching at home. A very, very special
Oh,
thank you.
Pigmail!
Without you guys, Pigmail there, just coming proper to the barriers there on the exit. Just about, it looks like Zuhair there just about managed to get himself through. A lot of this is going to be about just surviving the race, isn't it?
Yeah.
Suspension.
Unless the saboteur gets back on track.
Oh, the Bugatti straight line speed is awesome.
Absolutely. Losing out a little bit in the braking there. You can see there Mizan and Zuhair battling side by side. That was a brilliant overtaking maneuver. Right on the outside, there was a Bugatti EB11 width of the track that he could use there, and they're still battling side by side there.
no.
Meanwhile, Hambang Hijau
And Rydell!
done well.
I thought they're friends.
And Rydell. Maybe not anymore. That's a lot of expensive damage that they're gonna have to fix.
Most definitely, we're driving expensive cars.
And you can tell that they're being driven expensively there from the.
Maybe Mambang Hijau is not performing, maybe because his teammate Mambang Mera is not around.
Oh, Mira.
Your hair,
If you're wondering, for the viewers, who is Mambang Mera, that is Sean Sealer, our local superstar.
Yeah, unfortunately, Sean couldn't make it this time around. Hopefully, we'll see him again because it was a lot of fun having Sean on stream there. So, Sean, if you're listening, come lah.
Come, don't be shy. We are all just want
We miss
to have
you.
fun.
Pigmail right now, he's fighting hard with Mizan Maros, trying to catch up to Mizan there. The two Bugattis. Very interesting. You can actually see the driving dynamics between all three cars there. The Ferrari is probably the most nervous car out of the three there. Bugatti must feel the heaviest. It's the most prone to understeer. Although all three of these cars can't exactly be called understeery. And haven't had a chance to drive the Diablo though.
Oh, don't lock the car, don't
Don't lock the car. Why are you locking the door?
don't lock the car. Wow, my English.
Pigmail
sure
there
you-
battling with Mizan.
You sure you're going to school now? Lock the car. Race car, you cannot lock the doors, you know. You know that, right?
I can almost imagine Gujira being a teacher in a school somewhere in Ampang.
What you say, I don't know.
Every day I'll feed him the.
Yeah, we got Akash Wese Kamali so
Yeah.
driving on board. You guys, whoa, tak boleh nak letak kamera kat kita
Well
kau
held. Well held.
Jangan.
So he's battling right now with Javier Alvarez. They're going side by side, going down the hill and now coming up through this very, very, very difficult section there, stringing, really threading down the needle through the crest there. Javier getting very sideways there, and that's allowed Okay Suisse to catch up again. Okay, getting the car very sideways, coming out of the bridge. And you can see actually these two drivers have very, very different driving styles, but they look like, oof. I was going to say that they look like they were really close on pace, but...
No, don't mention it.
You know the chicane just now when Javier went through? Javier actually saw the straight line, you know. All other drivers does not see that.
Oh no!
He's seen the line. Whoa, Pigmail, that's a beautiful drift. Pigmail getting the car very, very sideways through there. Well held. Ika, meanwhile, he's just gained another place into 6th place. Unfortunately, unlike Need for Speed 2 SE, drifting the car doesn't result in the car going faster. Kind of wish it did though, it would look cool.
Pretty sure all of us agree on that.
Meanwhile, Ika, they're going around the outside over the corner.
Well, I almost went join you.
As you can see, by the way, for those of you guys who just joined us, welcome, first of all. Where have you been? It's been absolutely fantastic racing all up and down the leaderboard. And also, we've just joined the drivers down in the driver's lobby there, so you're going to hear their reactions as they battle side by side, just like EJ here battling with Mambang Hijau through this very, very narrow section of course they're going over the bridge here. And it's really very hard to have a classic out-braking maneuver.
Whoa!
Whoa, having just said that.
Mambang Hijau, I saw what you did there. I wonder who taught you that trick.
I guess not as hard as I thought it was. I'm pretty sure EJ wasn't looking.
And Torres
wasn't expecting
manages to secure position from that mishap.
Oh, Zan, come here.
Yo. Even I went
Looks
off
like
course.
Torres has got a little bit of damage on the car there.
Oh.
He's got a lot of steering input in the car to try and keep it in a straight line. Hopefully
Come here.
he'll be able to keep the car going in 12th place. It's the final lap of the race there. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Aldo battling with Reyes there. Aldo Balagulan there in first place, Reyes in second, Ramirez in third, Zan in fourth, Lizamaros in fifth, V-Pirate in sixth,
Sorry.
Hire in seventh,
My fault.
Ika in ninth, and Rashid Raidel there in 10th place battling. And it looks like we're going to get very close to the end of the race there. Meanwhile, this battle between V-Pirate and Midland has been going on for quite some time, isn't it?
Oh, I forgot to break. Oh,
Special thanks for
What
the
the heck? It's
like there
overcast
from
and it's still boosting.
Triple Power.
Let's go on to the race leader right now is Malagulan. Aldo.
Yep, Aldo there up in first place, doing a fantastic job for himself. He's battling with Reyes. Ooh, big sideways moment there. Nice, very nice there.
Nice.
Still being driven very well indeed there.
So
from, Aldo.
next race, you guys going to do it here with the trucks, right?
Yes. Yeah. Beautiful scenery and trucks.
Oh, I missed the truck.
I think we all missed the trucks.
yep.
Trucks were wonderful. But Aldo there, he's coming up to the village there. He's only got about a couple of more kilometers to go. Gonna thread the eye of the needle once more. Very, very close to the wall there. Coming up to the braking zone there. I reckon Aldo's got this track well sussed out right now. Hard on the brakes over the crest here, just hard enough so it doesn't lock up before throwing it down the hill there. Nicely managing the weight transfer through the bridge section there. And then coming up through this very, very tricky sort of straight line section.
Yeah. This actually you can carry the speed all the way through.
Yeah, you can see there Aldo going very quickly through there. Hard on the brakes around the bridge there, and ooh, just a bit of a clip on the exit. Aldo is still pushing very, very hard from start to finish, but it'll be a deserved win there. There's only 5.5 seconds between himself and Reyes. Another one more corner to go before the end of the race, and it's Aldo that wins the race. With Reyes coming home in second place, it looks like. 5 seconds further behind. Ramirez is a further 26 seconds. Meanwhile, the battle further down the field there, we've got Mirza Maros and V-Pirate still fighting very hard there. Oh no! V-Pirate spun, and he's going to lose that position to Mirza Maros. And meanwhile, it looks like Javier has also gone a little bit too wide. V-Pirate's gone a little bit too wide. And it looks like Ika and Javier, that little battle for 8th and 9th place, Ika has managed to get himself up into 8th with Javier in 9th. Zen comes home in 4th place, and it looks like the battle between V-Pirate and Mizamaru is still going on right now. Let's see who comes across first. Is it V-Pirate? Is it Mizan Maros?
Oh,
I'm finished.
Couldn't finish in time there, but it looks like V-Pirate was ahead of Mizan by the time the server finished. So Haya finishes in 7th, Eka in 8th, Raidel in 9th, Atai Suse, Kama Ali there in 10th place, Javier in 11th, and I believe that's EJ, yes, EJ in 12th, Max Angelo aka Muiz in 13th, Mama Hijau in 14th, Pesa in 15th, Torres in 16th.
Tak cukup practice kan.
Kena nak on sekali lagi ni. more time. One more time. Javi, are we good for one
Okay,
more time?
on. We hear one more time from the drivers. So once more with feeling. Let's do this.
Feeling.
Oh yeah.
Let's do the survey.
Hey, help me click yes in my work. You click yeah and why?
So we have to leave the server, what?
No, just hit Y on your keyboard.
Just hit Y, then ask why.
Oh, no server. So we have to re-enter again.
You have to render again. Give it a sec.
Okay, I'll reset it.
Right.
It's 10 seconds. Okay.
So
Go,
leave the server.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
already.
leave and come back.
Alright.
So we will be back with more Supercars actions. 90s Supercars Grand Prix in Scotland there. Just a reminder of what cars we've been watching around this. This was an absolutely spectacular race from all the drivers there. I wonder if Aldo is in the server tonight.
Avi, is the server reset?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I think Aldo is around. I forgot his name. Aldo.
Balachandran.
No, he's not
What?
Indian. He's not Indian lah. I can
Hello?
I can remember. Yeah. Yeah, hi.
Hello.
Yeah, nak cakap
Hello,
siapa? Nak cakap dengan siapa? Hey. Ray Bal.
Who's that?
Is that you?
Yes, that's me.
Yeah. So what was your real name? I forgot.
Aldo
Yeah,
Balagulan.
Yeah. Okay, so it's correct lah.
Balagulan. It was his real name.
That's his real name, lah.
Ah.
They were trying to convince me that it wasn't your real name. But I knew. So Aldo, how does it feel winning a race around that track with that car?
Well, it's very tricky because the Ferrari is very strong on the straights. I was dicing with Russell and he keeps, leaving me out in the dust when there's a long straight. But I noticed that he's having trouble putting the power down when there's a tight corner. Like for example, the bridge part. Yeah, that one. So that's where I tried to capitalize because it seems like the Diablo is very good at getting on the power. It's very stable, so I just got on the accelerator early. Then at some point, I think it was the second lap, Russell made a mistake in the uphill area and he spun, he hit the wall. So I took the lead. Then I just tried to maintain that gap, and I won.
Fantastic! Congratulations there, Aldo. Any tips for any of the other guys who are currently trying to suss this track out?
Don't hit the brakes too hard so it doesn't lock, especially when you know there's a bump. I think that helps. I think, yeah.
So yeah, I guess because these old school cars, a lot of them don't have ABS. I know the Ferrari doesn't have ABS, so just brake a little bit earlier, a little bit less pressure, and keep the car flowing through the corners, as they say. Triple Tharmic says, awesome track, luxury cars, and beautifully crafted commentary. Thumbs up. Thumbs up back to you, Triple Tharmic. Thanks. And also, while I was being interrupted by all the awesome racing out there on track, I was going to actually say as well, special thanks to all the drivers who are here in the server. Give yourselves a cheer and a round of applause.
That was so enthusiastic.
Wow.
I could actually feel the energy coming out of my earphone and going into my body.
I'm sure one day we'll just get like soundboards and we'll just have a cheering sound. But also, a very, very special thank you goes out to you guys, all the viewers at home who have made this stream a success, as is all of our other streams. Special thanks goes out to you guys, because without your support, we can't do what we do best. What do we do best? Yeah, I guess.
And crashing.
I think racing, interesting crashes and memes. I think that about covers us. Yeah, the Adrenaline Impact. We have a whole bunch of other stuff coming up towards the course of the next few weeks there. So do stay tuned. We have a lot of exciting stuff coming up ahead. But for now, we'll get one more drive at this wonderful, wonderful track.
So this model, the EB110, is quite long on the production line, huh? Was it? Compared to the latest Bugatti? It
was in production for quite a while. The problem with Bugatti at the time was that I believe they were owned by Lamborghini. And unfortunately there was a few financial issues, as Italian car companies tend to have. Obviously Bugatti's French, but they were owned by Italians, so they had a few financial issues there, and they got bought out by Volkswagen Audi Group. So that was what saved Bugatti, and they built this wonderful, wonderful factory in a castle, and they designed a new car for themselves, which was the Veyron. So the Veyron came out of the ashes of the old Bugatti factory.
Yeah, it's a new like a new hope for Bugatti, and they're doing quite well. Yep,
they're doing quite well now. I mean, Bugatti is a company that had a lot of ups and downs, and they were very well known in 20s and 30s with Bugatti Brescia and Type 37 Atlantique and cars like that, which were the hypercars of their era, the pre-war era.
This,
then they had
this Bugatti, they produce 139 produce. This EB11.
Oh, this one we're driving.
Every single one of them
139 cars produced.
Every single part handmade, right down to the headlights and taillights. It was totally bespoke, insanely expensive, and it bankrupted the company. But thank God they did it, because what a car!
Whoa!
Absolutely high speed stuff, maximum commitment going through that corner there. It's always fun to watch Rashi Raidal hot lap this thing around this track here. You can see there he's having to fight the car just a little bit on the brakes. These supercars not exactly having the best of brakes. They don't have the carbon brakes or the ABS that you'd expect to see nowadays. But they definitely do go quite quickly in a straight line as well. So braking technique, all important in these cars.
Before this corner, you actually can go a little bit more straighter, than braking for that corner.
I mean, I guess it just goes to show with these sort of road courses, open road courses like you see a lot in the UK for bike racing, that you can come here year after year after year and still learn something new. I think we've only just about uncovered maybe 10% of what this track could give us in terms of lap time.
Max, the Bugatti actually did 24 hours Le Mans, in 1994. The car,
I doubt the EB110 did.
EB110. The EB110 did Le Mans. They qualified very competitive at 17.
At 17,
overall. But they didn't finish because gearbox suffered a problem.
Yep, you're right.
But not not course, Bugatti. Bugatti didn't enter the event.
It was
by
privateer. Of course, they were
much
sponsored by Monte Carlo Casino. That is the most Bugatti thing ever.
Brabus also made one of their own. Brabus.
It's always very interesting to see the cars that come up to Le Mans, because especially the 80s and 90s, all the privateers that were coming through, this was before the age of the homologation special, and they were just basically race anything that they could find. There were companies like Venturi who barely made 60 or 70 cars a year, and they would send cars to Le Mans. right next to Porsche, who are obviously a very, very big company. So Le Mans has got a long history of oddball entrants. There's, of course, the famous Garage 56 entry. So every year there is a experimental car entered as entrant number 56. And we've seen hydrogen-powered cars, we've seen hybrid cars, we've seen the Delta Wing, and hopefully far more innovative cars coming in the future.
So the Ferrari F50 is the only one that didn't enter any races.
Yeah, which I still find strange.
The Diablo also entered racing specials.
The Diablo was entered by, most famously, J-Lock, Japanese Lamborghini Owners Club. I actually believe that J-Lock is still running right now. They're doing the Super GT Championship. Not bad for a team that is essentially a group of wealthy Lamborghini enthusiasts who decided to go against the edict of the company, go against the company's wishes, and race their Lamborghinis. They were a huge, huge part of bringing Lamborghini away from their ban on racing. Actually, interestingly, the Le Mans entry that year had quite a few weird and wonderful entrants on the list. I believe the Pilot F40, the famous Pilot F40 Ferrari, was an entrant, as well as the Dodge Viper, the Mazda RX-7, and the Dower 962, which was a prototype car that someone made 6 copies of so that they could race in the GT category. You can't get away with that nowadays, can you?
You see, Akai Suse just made the fastest lap, 247. Behind is Rydell, 251. Then Pesa did it in 3 days. 3 days and 7 minutes.
You see Akai Suse there. Yeah. It's tricky. I guess now that the drivers are beginning to learn the track a lot more, we're going to see a lot harder racing, a lot harder driving. Oof. Perhaps a little too hard there on that entry there.
Just to let you know, Akai Suse is Zen has just overtaken your time by hundreds of a second.
To be honest, I could have gone faster if I didn't keep wrecking.
It's like giving it. Alasan tu jangan bagi. Jangan bagi alasan yang bodoh.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why Mr. Gujira is well known in the sim racing industry here in Malaysia as the best cheerleader and motivational speaker in the sim racing community.
Alright.
You have to believe that you have carbon brakes and more downforce.
Yeah. Believe in the force that doesn't exist.
Believe in the force.
Let's start a thing going down in chat. Just hashtag believe in the force.
Oh, there's another one.
I still remember vividly Gujira screaming at me over Discord when I was doing some circuit race or another. Keep it flat! Keep it flat! I think I did actually manage to get it flat in the end.
Listen to me, Samir!
Samir!
Listen to me, Samir!
Stop wrecking the car!
You know, Zen, that corner you just went through the building that you can go straight. Why did you turn?
Alright, I got called out, so I lost concentration.
I'm pretty sure you do that on purpose nowadays, right, Gujira?
No. You called my name and I got scared. I was down by 3 seconds on my time. I've gotten a
lot of corners can just go straight.
Really?
Yeah. You can sort of straight line this next section as well.
You learn this if you play Dirt Rally 2.0.
Okay, I'll try it here right now.
here, straight, keep it straight. Not go into the.
You were almost there.
Almost there. Yes. You just have to move slightly more to the right.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Javier did that corner. Javier did.
Oh,
almost
really?
straight. Yeah.
Not perfectly straight. Like
Yeah,
when the
but
wall's coming towards you, do move a little bit to the right.
All right.
But you got the idea. You got the idea though. So anyways, Zen, how is the track? What do you think about it?
Well, it's very tricky because there's lots of corners where are very deceptive, such as before under the bridge. You brake before that, but then there's another corner that tightens into it, so you have to anticipate that. Then there's the one right before the building one, I think like 2 corners before, where you have to like downshift into a tree. After that, you have to pull the car in, and you might hit into the fences to the right. Yeah, but overall, it's quite a fun track.
And I don't know what do you think, but this must feel like super iconic, driving these supercars on this kind of road. The pictures look amazing right now. I'm just watching this on Discord.
Yeah.
I'm doing the commentary along as well, and it just looks epic. This is what Need for Speed should be like, guys. EA, are you listening?
Electronic Arts, are you listening?
Does anybody have the phone number for Mr. EA?
I can call in the CEO, but then he'll bring him off his paycheck.
Completely screwed up the Need for Speed thing.
I think right now Need for Speed is going to a way that they might be able to compete with Horizon. But it's still a far away, but yeah, they're getting there.
Finally, a clean lap!
The sound of sheer relief in your voice.
And Paul!
No, sir, don't have. Zen is still first.
Or did the ticker stop
Oh,
when
we've been
time
first
stopped?
by a mile.
Yeah, 7 seconds.
Yeah, for me, I was down 3 seconds.
Same.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is a demonstration of the commentator's curse by Mr. Gajira. I think, Gajira, am I correct in saying that you're probably the only person from all our commentators that actually enjoys the commentator's curse?
Next thing you'll know, he'll do a pace notes while the drivers are driving.
Can we
I
just
can do that for you. If you want. Medium left.
Do it right now.
Medium left. Into
Wow,
medium
good.
left.
Somebody do
Triple
it.
caution.
Hey, center.
Now we'll see the start whether the saboteur will sabotage everybody's races.
Yeah, this is actually Among Us but with cars, by the way, guys. We've got a saboteur amongst us.
First race tadi ada slide berirama
Don't be fooled by his laughter.
Like berirama.
Slide berirama.
So the final race, guys. So have fun and good luck. We're gonna go into the grid.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Right.
Wait, 1 more second. Oh, this one? Oh, someone set a faster level. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Movies set the faster lap.
Oh.
Alright, go have fun, guys.
But
I wonder who will jump start.
And away we goes, and in second place he's had.
Well, that's all.
That is a fast.
So yeah, the Bugattis are really, really quick coming off the line there, and you can see that the Diablo being swamped as they go into turn 1. But there's a couple of guys going very, very wide. Indeed, just doing a bit of a world grind there. I believe that's about 250 points in Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Now coming down into the braking zone here, we can see there right now Zen battling with Akai Suise.
Oh,
Very, very tricky.
there.
Absolute chaos apparently is erupting near the back of the field right now as we're driving through this section here, the bridge section. Very, very couple of corners coming up ahead there. The road goes left and right, and you really have to be on it and on the racing line as you go through there. Mu is now in the lead. Ramirez in second. Akai Suise, okay, Kamal Ali there in third.
I lock my brake, and you overshot that turn.
But
You went in too hard.
Alvaro Ramirez, they're getting the lead with Muiz coming down to second place, just pushing a little bit too hard there. That's the report.
my God.
That's a big spin. And there, just as we switch through, Akaisusi manages to get up into third place there. Big sideways moment there from Zan. Meanwhile, as they go through the wooded section here, it looks like the cars are beginning to spread out just a little bit. This is the trick with open road racing. It's very difficult to try and keep the cars side by side through some of these sections here, so you have to pick and choose the moments on when you can attack. Meanwhile, Muiz there, he's dropped down to second place there. He's got Advan Ramirez in first place ahead of him. And now let's see how they go through this village section here. It's a very tight straight line section through there. Ooh, spectacular stuff from both cars. I believe the top two cars right now are both Bugattis. Muiz getting very sideways there, and ooh, just clobbering the barrier. Meanwhile, Ramirez in first place, Muiz managing to keep second.
Looks like Muiz is trying to sabotage his own self.
Hey, bottom out.
That is a challenge round.
Bottom out, alright.
Oh, pirate!
Gotcha.
Oh, right before the bridge, that's an accident.
Yikes! There's a big accident there. It looks like V-Pirate had the worst of it. Zan and Ika managing to get through, and also with Javi Alvarez also managing to
go
get
straight.
through. Now you see, you can go straight. Ish, sort of. You wouldn't want to lock your wheel, lock your steering wheel, please, but yeah. Meanwhile, the two drivers going side by side there, ooh, just about managing to squeeze through Javier Alvarez, keeping his position right now in 5th place. It's a battle between 5th, 6th, and 7th place as they come across the start-finish line, coming into the braking zone here. Look at the speed of the Bugattis in a straight line as they go into turn 1 there, but they have the speed in a straight line, but they do appear to be a little bit understeery, a little bit too much weight with all that four-wheel drive system and the massive sort of technological complexity of these cars there. Looks like Javier has gone very wide indeed. Ika having to take a very tight line. Zan getting closer and closer. It's the classic tortoise and hare thing. Oh, Ika! Big incident there from Ika. And that means that Javier, Zan, and Aldo's managed to get up a couple of places there. Ika falling all the way down to 9th place. Meanwhile, the battle between Torres and Lambang Hijau there, with Torres managing to gain a position coming into 10th place. Now, meanwhile, this battle for the lead of the race there, they're going to go 3 wide. Are they going to be able to pull it off? Not quite. Muiz managing to hold on to 2nd place there. Reyes getting in the car very sideways. Ramirez in 3rd still. Just about managed to make through there. How they didn't have a massive airplane accident, I am not too sure. But meanwhile, Advan Ramirez now down to 3rd place, and he's hot on the tail of Russell Reyes. Could actually see the drivers.
Muiz must be shitting his pants by now.
Big time.
Yeah, Bronze
Russell
there
Reyes.
already. That's a mine.
Russell Reyes there, very sideways. Ramirez as well. I think these drivers now in the second race, they're pushing the cars a lot harder, and Muiz getting very sideways, and it looks like Russell Reyes managing to get into 2nd place. Russell Reyes into the lead. Ramirez in 2nd, and Muiz in 3rd.
This last.
Need to brake early there.
It looks like the drivers are pushing the cars a lot harder, and they're actually pushing the tires a lot harder here. Tire durability could be an issue.
Oh, that somebody pushed too hard. Don't join them.
Meanwhile, we've got the classic adrenaline impact midfield battle. That's almost a trademark at this point of all of our races here. Javi Alvarez right in the middle of the action as they're going through that section. He's got Zan up ahead. We've got Zan too slow. To avoid that impact, Javier.
You notice Javier is faster there.
Yeah, very.
You notice? That's a racing line.
In fact, I believe Javier. What's the word? I think he was a bit too quick going through.
You went a bit too quick there.
Just a little bit too fast.
Just
Let's say slow crest.
The difference in speed, taking of the racing line.
But meanwhile, now that means Zan is in
Oh,
5th
Zan.
place, Javier in.
I have a broken suspension, so I'll lose 5th place.
Keep it going, Zan. We want to see you
I'll
get
try.
this car to the end. You can do it. We're all cheering for you at the side of the road.
Javier, you heard that, right? He has a broken suspension.
Yeah.
Oh my god, brake doesn't work.
That's a very worrying thing to
brake
hear.
works.
Emmanuel.
It's just the driver not
Driver
using
is
it.
not working.
Driver not working.
That is often
Listen to me, VS. Listen to me, Samir. Medium left.
Medium left.
Medium left. Coming into medium left. Up over the crest into medium left.
That's the best trope, isn't it?
Flat out over crest.
You can see the drivers are losing quite a lot of grip now throughout the course of the race. We're in lap 3. They've got another full lap to complete after this. And definitely much higher pace than in the previous race. And the cars being pushed much, much harder. I think most of the cars we've seen a little bit of bodywork damage from all of them. So that just goes to show these guys are not holding any punches. They are driving as hard as they possibly can. We're going on board right now with Akai Suse. Again with this midfield battle. Javier is ahead with Zen. In between. Okay, so you
Not
say.
use technology.
Okay, so you say they're discovering that the F50, along with not having any ABS, doesn't have traction control either. You pay a lot of money for that car and not get a lot. In any case,
real life also doesn't have traction control. ABS, yes, but no.
Come here.
The traction control is your right foot.
Oh!
Oh.
No.
Muiz as usual trying to sabotage.
No.
But unfortunately he was alone. So his plan didn't work.
Yo, shh. Don't tell them a secret.
Meanwhile, Russell Reyes
See how fast he-
got the fastest lap of the race, 2:38.3. He is really flying at the front of the field right now. But Ramirez and Moyes also trying to go as quickly as they can. As you go into the final.
Oh no!
Oh, please don't collect me.
My guy is done. Tossed it.
Oh no, Javi Alvarez,
Oh,
he's got a
Javier.
big incident there. That's left Zan and Akai Suise up a position each.
That's a
And
nice-
it looks like that
Oh,
guy is
look
also
at
going to go
the
side by
lap
side. Look at the speed of the F50 as it comes into the braking zone there. They
Oi, sorry.
just unable to carry the speed through the corner of those two cars with very different strengths and ability. The F50 just accelerates away like you would believe. Zan having to try and catch up in the corners to try and catch up with Ake Suise there, but it looks like after that little contretemps at the start of that lap, looks like Ake Suise has got a little bit of a gap there. It's going to be very tactical between this battle between Ake Suise and Zan to see who is going to be out in
I'm sweating.
front. Meanwhile, look at that beautiful black Ferrari F50 of Russell Reyes, 9.8 seconds ahead of Ramirez at the moment. But the battle between second and third place is looking like it's still very warm indeed. Only 2 seconds separates Ramirez and Moyes. Moyes can definitely see that car up ahead there. He's going to try and maximize that Bugatti as much as possible, but it looks like Ramirez had a little bit of a mistake there. Both cars driving a Bugatti. Both drivers driving a Bugatti right now. And it's going to be a real battle of the Bugattis as they go through the village coming into this braking zone here. This section is going to be critical as to who is going to come in at runner-up spot there. Moyes closing right up over the crest with Ramirez. They're going to go side by side downhill, and Moyes wisely gives up the corner there, just managing to live to fight another day. Now it's going to be who can get the best run onto the bridge. They are neck and neck. They're so close right now that Moyes can actually read the serial number on the rear wing of that Bugatti going through the dip and up over the crest there. You can see that Moyes, he's going so fast, the car's actually lifting clean off the track in his attempts to go through there.
Oh, he tried to sabotage again but failed.
Both drivers in the wall. Ramirez managing to survive Moyes not so much. But Russell Reyes, congratulations, he wins for the second time this evening. Ramirez comes home in second place. The beautiful, beautiful race all the way almost to the checkered flag. And Muiz comes home in third place with Aldo there in fourth, almost getting onto the podium. That is a very, very
Drift
entertaining.
the $2 million car, please.
Yeah.
I'm just parking, bro. What are you saying? Just safely park it on the side.
Meanwhile, Akai Suiste and Zan come home in fifth and sixth place.
Oh my god.
Beautiful top six result for both drivers. Rydell will come home roughly in seventh place with Eka in eighth, Mambang Hijau in ninth, Torres in 10th, and Javier Alvarez, unfortunately, still in the pits with repairs.
We expected Rydell to do something today, but unfortunately, no.
Oh, I'm having a headache right now.
Driving with a broken suspension is not fun.
Oh, same here. Not fun.
Definitely.
My front ramp was overheating.
I'll push my car a little bit too hard. Oh my god. Same corner, I messed up.
Yeah, that was absolutely spectacular. We saw both you and Ramirez come into that final corner that hit the same piece of wall. Ramirez managing to be very lucky there and managed to get the car in a straight line. Obviously, he must have been wheeling that car like you wouldn't believe.
Suspension damage from the start, you're saying.
Oh.
I blame
That's
the
very
pace notes who never said the pace notes.
Yeah.
I couldn't navigate through the track.
To be honest, I could have pushed him in the rear, but I back out of it.
That's great. Good racing.
Good for you for going into rear.
Absolutely. So
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. Oh, best fun.
That was absolutely spectacular stuff. So, Rashid.
Yes.
Any last thoughts on this track and car combination?
It's really extremely fun to drive, and then really satisfying. Serious. I've been so long not to drive like this in sim.
But why with the bad results?
No lah. In race, anything can happen. So maybe one day your luck will be good, and then the other day you don't have luck, ma.
So you're trying to say that that Muiz actually tried to sabotage you, lah.
Fight. And so we'll leave it on that WWE metaphor there. Thank you, Rashid Rydell, to Zan, to Max Angelo, aka Muiz, Ali.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to all the race winners. Thanks to Aldo and to Reyes. Thanks to the Philippine guys for coming over. You've given us some spectacular racing at the front of the field. In a nutshell, thanks to all the drivers for coming over. It's been a brilliant, brilliant race. Special thanks also goes out to our media partners, Galeri Kereta, Speed Tavern, Vertex Esports, and Adrenaline Impact. And the biggest and the best and brightest flashing neon thank you goes out to you guys, the viewers, without whom we could not pull this off and make this happen. So a very, very special thanks to all of you guys watching out there. But for now, special thanks goes out to Khairul Alang, our director, along with my co-host for this evening, Mr. Gojira.
Yes.
It was fun, wasn't it?
Yes, it was fun. I'm actually trying the saga on the reservoir track now.
Abang Rashid, should we bring the trucks in either one of the two tracks?
Yes.
Yes. Just bring it on.
I need my redemption. Idol.
So we might have a few more racers and racing cars to take to this track. I think it's an absolutely wonderful place indeed. But for now, special thanks to everyone I've just mentioned and to my co-host and director. But for now, that's it for me. See you next time. Bye for now. Ta-ra.
Bye, everybody.
All right.
Bye.